I'm very biased when it comes to Pentatonix, and I always love their arrangements. Hello folks, we are back with another reaction. Excuse me, I don't know what that was all about. For those of you that are following along in real time, we are playing a little bit of catch up. We had a really crazy weekend of auditions this past week. So we fell behind a little bit considering one of us got really sick and a whole bunch of life happened, as it does. But we are back, and I'm super excited to be returning to Pentatonix, one of my personal favorite bands. I've loved them for over a decade now, and I haven't yet reacted to their current band member setup, and I know that at this point in time, they spent more time with the new members than the old members that included Avi as the bass. So I figured it's high time, and this is an amazing song, so I'm looking forward to reacting in real time with you folks. The Sound of Silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision...
So, folks, I know Scott Hoying is technically a baritone, but we don't hear him singing this low in most of the songs. I think one of the other songs that he sang more of a bass color, bass range was the song that, it was back when Avi was in it. Come on, brain, you can do it. Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. That's what it is, I'm pretty sure. I was fascinated when Avi had the solo in that song, so I looked it up a little bit, and I'm just remembering that was one of the only times that Scott really took over the bass role. And you get to hear the full color of his voice in this song, The Sound of Silence. It is rich. You get to hear it almost like he's singing it in your ear, thanks to the magic of technology and microphones. And you hear him really open up into more of like a chesty sound. It's almost like the vocal folds don't completely phonate, and they wave particularly slowly, and they let extra air go through. And that breeds that intimacy that I was talking about, almost like he's whispering it in your ear. And of course, when the rest of Pentatonix comes in, it's absolutely amazing.
That was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
Here, when you transition into the pre-chorus, I think it is, I'm not entirely sure, you get that choral sound that Pentatonix is really known for with the amazing beatboxer Kevin. He really rounds out the whole sound, and I think it's definitely one of the reasons Pentatonix is so successful. I'm sure I've said that before, but it's worth noting. Every single member of Pentatonix adds so much flavor and personality to it, and of course Mitch Grassi is no exception. He's got such a unique timbre to his voice that really blends well with the core trio who went to high school together. Friendship and skills, talent comes together to create something that everyone can enjoy.
Beneath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light.
You get that really expressive press in Mitch's voice. With the flash! Of course, he does it a lot better. He's got his own instrument. I have mine. But when you hear that press, there's a longing that is added to the performance.
That split the night and touched the sound of silence.
And in the naked light I saw 10,000.
Okay. The way they kind of drop these little vocal dum bum 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 is so masterfully done, and it really sets you up for something special is coming, and you better listen in. It gives me it gives me goosebumps. And then we get Matt coming in with his amazingly gorgeous baritone voice. I know he functions as the bass. I suspect he's a little bit more of a baritone, mainly because his voice is a lot more flexible than someone like Avi contributed to the group, and the timbre between Avi, who we would consider more of a true bass, there's more of a shift between those upper registers and the lower notes that he has, whereas Matt has much more of a blend, and it's much more connected, almost like one voice. The timbres really don't shift as dramatically as a true bass voice trying to reach up to those higher notes, where they really have to thin out their vocal folds and lose some of that color. But as you will hear, Matt just does a fantastic job of not only doing more of the mid-tones, baritone range, but he takes over the bass later, and he does absolutely phenomenally.
People maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share. And no one dare disturb the sound of silence.
There was a moment there when Matt actually sounded almost exactly like Scott up in the upper range. I'm sure I made a face at that point in time. But yeah, he's an absolutely great singer, and he's such an asset to Pentatonix. He really fits into the group. I think I've seen their dynamic on stage in concerts, and it's just absolutely wholesome to see. They're such a fantastic band. I can't wait to see more of them. I misclicked that, but that transition, folks, is what makes Pentatonix so amazing, using just their voices. What can we do except a seamless key change to where we lead the female vocals, those soprano notes, into the limelight. It's so amazing to see how masterfully that's done. They really bring in a lot of a cappella into their covers, into their original music, because obviously that's who they are. But it's more than that. There are a cappella groups that are just not as successful. They stick to mostly just using their voices, but you just can't forget to continue to be a musician, to continue to be innovative, to throw in key changes, to change the rhythms, to really almost treat your voices as individual instruments rather than a choral group.
It's like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words are like silent raindrops fail.
They did such a great job of highlighting Kirsten's vocals. She does so phenomenally in her upper belt range. You can really hear how healthy her voice is. You hear that really relaxed, quick vibrato. She's a smaller human, so her voice is a lot lighter and a lot more flexible than a lot of the other people in this band. But the really shimmery vibrato of how relaxed it is, so clear and so powerful. I hesitate to use power a lot when I talk about voices because it could encourage people to put in artificial power and put a lot of muscle into their tone and put more pressure on their instrument than is absolutely necessary. But I don't see that problem with any of these people.
And echoed in the wells of silence.
In the people mountain rain.
Great transition.
Neon god they made.
And the signs are shining, warning. It was for me. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls.
I do have to say this because I've always noticed it, and I don't want to come off as a hater. You can definitely hear Scott reaching for certain high notes. You can hear it when the vocal folds don't quite release that tension in the voice when he's sending all that air to reach that high note, and you hear a little bit of a almost like a vocal fry quality, and that can be absolutely expressive. But I do see it very often, not just in recordings, but in live performances too. And obviously in live performances you get the extra stress of we're on tour now and we don't sleep very well and we're traveling all the time. We don't get to just relax all the time. But simply because you don't have the most technically efficient instrument, that does not mean that you can't deliver a quality product. Obviously, Scott is able to deliver a quality product consistently as well. So I'm not super worried, but it is an extra tension that I notice in his voice that honestly sometimes adds to his performance.
And whispered in the sound of silence.
And you end it in unison. Absolutely powerful, very stunning. You know, I just remembered how much I love Pentatonix, and I'm so excited to put more of them on the channel. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do. Please continue to give us that feedback, and I'll go ahead and announce this right now. My spouse doesn't know this yet, but we are officially going to be releasing the official music video for our next song in the album, Healing Myself, at the end of February. It will premiere the 28th. That'll be the official music video. For those of you that are following us in real time with the February challenge and you want a sneak peek, we've already actually released a version of this song and we submitted it to the NPR Tiny Desk concert for 2026. So if you absolutely can't wait for the official version to come out, go ahead and I'll drop it somewhere on here so you guys can go directly to it. Otherwise, at the end of the video, you'll see our slow dance music video. Take a look at that. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about all these projects, y'all. And thank you so much for your support. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye.